Since Disney bought the Star Wars franchise over a decade ago, the reception to the content they have released has been polarizing, to say the least. The initial hype around the franchise during the lead up to The Force Awakens is a reception modern day Lucasfilm can only dream about recapturing, after their constant stream of theatrical and Disney Plus failures. We already know that they haven't managed to make a film that wasn't absolutely terrible since Rogue One, but they had a lot of potential with other media. I enjoyed the first few seasons of Rebels, I really liked the Darth Vader comics, Battlefront 2 was fun to play once they actually bothered to finish it, and Jedi Fallen Order was very entertaining. Unfortunately, things went severely downhill since they started to stream on Disney Plus. Although The Mandalorian got off to a okay start, Season 2 started to show that they were desperate to capture people's attention, throwing in any recognisable characters they could in order to appeal to fans and try and shill other projects, on top of just not caring about good writing and keeping consistency with the other Star Wars projects previously introduced. Which brings us to the Acolyte. The Acolyte, for those unaware, is really bad. Who could have guessed, except for everyone with a brain that had been paying attention to both the development of this show and how Disney Lucasfilm has been operating for the past few years. But this show really does take the cake for being pure garbage. It tried to be a non-linear narrative, showing us bits and pieces of the story at the start to try and think one way, only to introduce flashbacks and more context to reflect on what really happened. With all of this expected to line up with what we knew before, but to twist how the audience would feel about the heroes and the villains of the story. Unfortunately, when the flashbacks you introduce not only makes the characters and their motives even more incomprehensible, but also just adding more questions alongside making me question if I'm supposed to be agreeing with the people who are just arguably in the wrong with the situation, then yeah, it doesn't really do a good job, does it? And because of how bad this was, it really messed things up on the analytical side of things. Despite the first episode being the biggest premiere episode of a Disney Plus TV show in 2024, barely anyone watched after the premiere, barely anyone tuned in for the finale. The reception to the series was one of public ridicule. There were vast threads and videos pointing out the lack of effort and polish put into the writing and presentation. And then the main actress got so annoyed that people kept pointing this stuff out, as well as the fact that she just can't act, deciding to do a cringy music video where she basically just calls everyone who had a problem with the show racist and sexist without any evidence whatsoever, souring the show's reputation even more. And so, Disney and Lucasfilm, in a rare moment of clarity and rational thinking, realised that it was a really dumb idea to once again sink hundreds of millions of dollars into a show that barely anyone watched and even less people liked. And so they've cancelled any intentions of a second season, and the Shills have gone mental. Naturally, Jacob, Disney Star Wars' greatest shill, has been quick to try and milk this for as much drama as possible, playing the victim and denouncing toxic behaviour, while at the same time insulting others and telling everyone who had a genuine issue with the show that they were sexist and racist. Jacob, if you're gonna try and make yourself come off as a reasonable individual, don't run your channel and brand the way you do and then say a load of bullshit like this. You don't criticise at all, you suck them off at every possible turn. If it was up to you, fan servicey, key jangly, flashy light shows that have no depth or prestige to them like The Acolyte would be the only thing being made at Lucasfilm. So don't try and make yourself come off as a level-headed individual with normal takes when you unironically defend the rise of Skywalker. One of the issues that some of the other people had with this was that the cast and crew that would have worked on Season 2 now no longer had a project to work on. Therefore, these people have lost jobs and salaries. And the fact that people think this makes it explicitly clear that they have no idea how the media industry works and that their opinion should be discarded immediately. And to be honest, you can just discard everything that Movie Blob says in general, he's a fucking idiot. No, that's not how this works. All of these actors and camera operators and boom mic technicians will all be going on to other projects. They're going to be completely fine. The only people whose career this might damage is Kathleen Kennedy's and Leslie Headland's, aka the woman who, if she had any dignity, would have left this franchise years ago because of how badly she's run it into the ground, and Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. Forgive me if I don't feel sorry for either of these two. Another issue is that apparently the reason why the show is getting cancelled is because it got negative review bombed so hard that Disney decided to cancel it. And to that I say, are you really that fucking stupid? If you genuinely believe that this show was beloved and that lots of people wanted it to return, then why would the review bombs matter? Surely all of these millions of fans of the show would have given it positive reviews, right? Oh yeah, that's right, because most of these are genuine reviews. Did some people review bomb it? Yes, just like literally every single other project that comes out today, it got review bombed by some people. But a lot of these are genuine reviews from people who have watched the show. No, the real reason is that this show and its marketing was very clearly pandering to a certain demographic of people, and so barely anyone watched it because it was obviously going to be dog shit, and most that did watch it hated it. If you wanted the show to continue, then maybe you should have actually showed up to watch it, instead of just sitting in your echo chamber and getting annoyed at people with actual taste. Finally, people are pointing out that there's so much potential with the series and where it could go, and it's a shame to see it get cancelled. And to that I say, just stop joking. The only two things the show had left for it was a man hiding in a cave, jingling keys for morons in the audience, and a shot of Yoda's head, jingling keys for the morons in the audience. This story had nowhere to go. They already destroyed the canon of the universe in the first season. Having a second season where Darth Plagueis starts to stir up trouble and Yoda starts to fight Smilo Ren would have only harmed things further. In better news, it seems that the common sense bomb has finally gone off at the executive level, because all of the merch for the Acolyte that was being sold on the Disney store has mysteriously vanished, and if they were removing traces of the Acolyte from existence, then it wouldn't surprise me if the Acolyte gets the Willow treatment and gets Thanos snapped out of existence from Disney+, erasing this nightmare from being promoted any more than it needs to. Overall, this is something that has been building up for a while now, and it's nice to see the reality check finally registering with Lucasfilm that pandering to a small group of people isn't going to attract the main audience demographic back to watch your stuff. Hopefully they'll take a good hard look at Andor, see how everything works there and why people enjoy it so much, and apply that same sort of mindset when it comes to creating further shows in the near future. Thanks for watching, lads and lasses. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing and checking out some of my other videos. Sharing always helps, and if you're feeling really generous, please consider my Patreon or YouTube membership. I also have a Twitter and occasionally I do live streams. But most of all, I just hope you had a great day and hopefully I will see you in the next video.